me as we check out what you can get in Harrisburg, South Dakota for under $350. 205 Creekside Avenue is a ranch-style home built in 2020 with an unfinished basement and 2 beds and 2 baths on the main. At $310 a square foot, this home hit the market at $349,900. All right, so before we jump inside this little cutie, I'm going to show you guys the neighborhood here. This is all fairly new construction. That is the main drag right out there. And then we do have some kind of patio homes and some multifamily as kind of the buffer between this and your scooters that is right there. Can you imagine? Yeah, I'd be walking the scooters every single day. So we have a super cute exterior. I love the blue that's tied in here. Landscaping is easy, clean. We have a nice yard, a nice covered front porch, which is an absolute necessity. You can already tell like how the wind sound is already down just being in here. Alrighty, so we have a nice little catch-all for the entry. We have a closet. This is also where you come in from your garage. So I will say that it is a little extra deep. So that's nice. And this is pretty much what everyone does. You'll see a lot of little shoe catch-alls in people's garages, especially another reason that we like heated garages. So here we have a nice open layout, vaulted ceilings. So it feels nice and big in here. And they do have very big furniture. So this is a nice size living room. Nice oversized windows, lots of natural light. They have really nice window treatments. So another thing that's great about next to new is in the new construction, keep in mind, you're probably gonna wanna budget about $5,000 on top of whatever you're paying for the house for stuff like window treatments. And then we have this really nice kitchen, very efficient with a walk-in pantry. So you have room for like a little coffee station there. And then just a really easy little work zone right here. But yet you still have, you know, some nice counter space too. So there's our pantry, lots of extra storage. Nice sized dining room, because this is a big dining room table as well, and lots of seating here. You could probably get 4 or 5 spots just at the eat-in bar right there. Backyard is a decent size. We have a little deck here. I will mention that there's no stairs going down. So that's kind of, you know, a little unusual, but wouldn't be too crazy to add something for that. All right. And then upstairs we have 2 bedrooms and they're decent sized. Nice big windows, walk-in closet. And then this is the second bathroom, also like really nice sized. And then we have our laundry tucked in right here. So very, very convenient. And then a nice sized primary. You can tell they're kind of like in the middle of moving out, with another walk-in closet. And your primary suite with a walk-in shower and a vanity. And then we have the really great option, and something to keep in mind when you're looking at the price point. The price per square foot is going to look much higher because you are calculating all of this unfinished square footage down here. So definitely room for a nice living area, family room, room for another bathroom, room for a bedroom, and room for another bedroom and a utility / storage area. And since this house is only a couple of years old, you wouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff for quite a while. All right, let's head upstairs and kind of dig into the pricing on this one. Alrighty, you guys. So what do you guys think of this home? I will say that, you know, Harrisburg can tend to be a little bit more expensive even sometimes because it has such a great school district. People really, really want to be in this school district. And it's just, you know, it's really close to Sioux Falls, but slightly outside. So you still have a little bit of that small town feel. Some people go back and forth on that. The ones who are like lifers, like small town lifers, they're like, Harrisburg is growing so fast. And then people from larger metropolitan areas are like, wow, Harrisburg is that great blend of small town feel, but all of the, you know, city amenities. So that does, you know, draw a lot of people. And unlike some other large metropolitan areas where you assume that the homes are going to get more affordable as you get out of city limits, not necessarily the case here. One of the main reasons is we don't have traffic. So there's no reason to pay more to be closer to work and shopping and all that stuff when you can get everywhere in Sioux Falls in like 15 minutes. But we'll see how that changes over the next 5 to 10 years since we are growing very, very rapidly here in Sioux Falls. But all in all, I mean, I would say comparing this home to basically the new construction down here. So they're building very similar homes to this right now, and they're on the market. They are closer to 400, and some of them do not include things like landscaping, sod, irrigation. So there's a little extra bonus for finding something that's just a couple years older. But it really depends if you want to be in Harrisburg, I would say. That's kind of the case with a lot of the small towns outside of Sioux Falls. It's where do you really, really want to be? And then you are somewhat limited as to what the inventory is going to be in that area and comparing that to your timeline. So all things that I can help you organize, that's what I do. Give you realistic expectations, set you up for the best possible case scenario for you and what you're trying to achieve. So for that, we need to do a sit down and have a little bit more of a chat and talk about your specifics. If you want to reach out to me, all my contact information is below. And if you want to get a spot on my calendar, you can do that down below as well. All right, hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you on the next one. Bye.